haven't seen very often here in SCAC this year.
Well, free throw shooting comes down to experience. That's just good coaching from Coach Wendy Austin. You know, you got to get your free throws in at practice. It comes down to the end of the game. A lot of games have been won and lost just by the free throws.
And the first person that just jumps out at you when you look at the Colonels has got to be number 12, Maggie Pruitt.
Oh, absolutely. Maggie Pruitt, all SCAC last year, 18.8 points a game. Number 2 in the SCAC in points a game and three-point percentage. 5.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists. She just does a little bit of everything out there.
And you know, if teams want to knock off the Colonels, they're going to have to find a way to contain Pruitt, which is easier said than done. You know, Pruitt in contention for possible SCAC Player of the Year.
Absolutely. I think she has a great chance of winning that award. But if you focus too much on Pruitt, you still got Chelsea Benham, who averages 10.5 points a game, and Lauren Hooter, who averages 6.8 points a game and 7.3 rebounds, not to mention 1.8 blocks. She's just a wall on the inside, just rejecting everything that comes near her.
Center has had a tough time with one team, which, granted, most people in the SCAC have had a tough time with this team. It's the DePaul Tigers. They dropped 2 to the Tigers. It really hadn't been close. Center has a chance to get back to the championship game where they were last year, but if they want to come out on top, they're more than likely going to have to go through DePaul yet again.
Yeah, DePaul, that's obviously one of the highest ranked teams in the SCAC. They're number 11 in the nation. They're so good. It's not a big surprise that DePaul beat Center this year, but for the Center Colonials to pull out this big win, they're going to have to come back and beat DePaul.
And as we move on to our next team, the number 2 seed in the West, the Trinity Tigers. The Tigers coming in at 13-12. 9-7 in the SCAC. Head coach Amy Bradley bringing a hot Tiger team into Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, this hot Tiger team is led by Abby Dieter, who averages 17 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, and a block. She's second team All-SCAC last year, and she's just been a force out there. Number 4 in the SCAC in scoring.
And we talk about Dieter, kind of a little dynamic duo here we're seeing with also number 34, Danielle Hubenak. 15.7 points a game. That's number 5 in the SCAC. Averages 3.8 assists and 2.4 steals a game. So Hubenak and Dieter, they are dangerous.
And you gotta remember they have a big girl down low, Jana Tucker, nearly 6 points a game and 6 rebounds a game. Not flashy numbers, but she gets it done on the inside.
As we mentioned about the Tigers, they are the only team to knock off DePaul this year. We say a lot about DePaul, but as we said, DePaul being ranked nationally, that was a big deal. So this Trinity team, you kind of never know what you're going to see, because at one point, they'll beat DePaul, one of the best teams in the SCAC, but then they'll come back and they get swept by Millsaps, the team that didn't make the SCAC tournament.
Well, Trinity is just inconsistent. As the record displays, they're 13-12, 9-7 in the SCAC. They are the number 2 seed in the West, though, and that win at DePaul, that's a quality win if I've ever seen one.
And it's also worth mentioning that, as you said, the Tigers are coming in red hot. They've won 4 in a row to finish the season. So they're coming in on a hot note, and they could end up running into DePaul again. They've proven once they can beat them. Maybe they could do it again. That's now going to bring us into the number 3 seed in the East, the Rose Lynx. The Lynx coming in at 9-15, 6-10 in the SCAC with head coach Matt Dean. They got an amazing player, the one who leads in scoring, number 32, Charwell Bell.
Charwell Bell, absolutely incredible. We watched her play here, we called one of her games, and I was just incredibly impressed with how she played. Bell, 19.4 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, 2.7 steals a game. She was also the newcomer of the year last year. She's a star in the making right now. She's absolutely incredible.
And the main thing that stuck out to me is, not only does she have a great jump shot, she could penetrate better than anyone we've seen all year.
Oh, just her ball handling ability is out of this world, and that's part of the reason she's number 1 in the SCAC in scoring.
I'll say this about Rose, don't let the record fool you. Charwell Bell is on the court and she's hot, they can beat anybody.
And what's almost more impressive than her points per game, her averaging almost 9 rebounds, that's top for 4th in the SCAC, and she's a guard. She's a ball handler. She's just such a great athlete that she managed to come up with a lot of rebounds.
And she's not the only one, though, on this Lynx squad. Just got to look out for Lakia McGill. We saw her also here in Jackson, and she actually struggled a little bit. She didn't have her best game, but she can always break out and be the second tier to Bell.
Yeah, McGill, very solid player, 11.6 points per game, 2.8 assists, And you know a lot of the assists are going to Charlotte Bell.
And then also Amy Handelman down low, the center for the Lynx, almost 10 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, which is tied with Bell in the SCAC. So some good rebounding numbers from the Lynx. And you got to watch the Lynx. They knocked out Birmingham-Southern, a team who's not eligible for the SCAC tournament but would have made it. You know, they knocked off Southwestern. We mentioned how good they are. Colorado, another team that made the SCAC. This team could be a little bit of a dark horse.
You're right, but Rhodes struggled against the West. They were only 2-4 against the Western Division in the SCAC.
And of course, they start out with the Western Division team. And that's going to move us back to the West as we're going to look at the number 3 seed, the Southwestern Pirates from the Western Division, coming in at 16-9, 8-8 in the SCAC. Head coach Carrie Brinkoder. You know, another team we saw play here, a very deep team, a lot of good athletes.
A very deep team. They comes down to 2 key players for them, both averaging nearly 14 points a game. Chelsea Leader and Anna Farid. Chelsea Leader also with 6.5 rebounds a game, 2.8 assists, 2.5 steals.
She does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's what you want from your star player. You want them to get involved in every aspect of the game. And Anna Farid is a guard. She's 13.9 points a game and 3.4 assists. She runs the offense well, gets a lot of assists for this team. Very good with the ball.
I was going to watch Staley Mullins averaging 10 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, 2 blocks, and a name that didn't even make it on here, who was a second-team All-SCAC last year, Shay Seagraves.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I didn't even see her in the top 3 of the scoring, but whenever you're this deep as a team, some players are going to get overlooked, but that's a big asset to the Southwestern Pirates to have this many great players.
And Seagraves also in double digits as she averages in scoring. So they got 4 players who can score 10 or more points at any point. And so this team is very deep. We've seen some of the teams. They swept Colorado College. They split with Trinity. They knocked off Center. And Center, one of the teams they're going to play here in the first round. This is a team, another kind of a dark, I wouldn't even call them a dark horse. This is just a team to watch.
Oh yeah, this team's done a pretty good job this year. They're 8-8 the SCAC, but they beat some really good teams. They lost some games they probably shouldn't have lost, but what it comes down to is if you're hot at the right time in the tournament, and I feel like Southwestern can make a big splash.
And now we will move on to the number 4 seed here in the East, the Oglethorpe Stormy Petrels, coming in at 6-18, 5-11. Head coach Ron Saddle bringing his squad here to Jackson, Mississippi. Kind of interesting. Look, you'd say a down year for the Stormy Petrels, especially if you look at the past couple of years. They've made Final Four appearances. Able to get back into the SCAC tournament, but you can definitely say definitely a down year for them.
Yeah, they really struggled this year. 5-11 in the SCAC. Coach Ron Saddle cannot be happy with that. They have some good players though. Katie Weeks, 12.5 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. Very solid player. Sarah Giles, 10 points a game, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks.
3 blocks.
Out of this world.
Number 1 in the SCAC, in case you were wondering. That is definitely tops in the conference.
I don't know if I've ever heard of someone averaging over 3 blocks in a whole season.
And I'm telling you now, we'll mention this more when we get to the matchups. Her first opponent is Hendrix College, and it's going to be Christina Byler, who we mentioned earlier. The Byler-Giles matchup could just be epic.
Oh, Sarah Giles is such a good defender that Byler's going to have her hands full.
Absolutely. Also watch out for Kelly Reeves, averaging 7 points a game, 2.4 assists a game. You notice here with the Stormy Petrels, though, when you look at their numbers, shoot a very low percentage from the field and from behind the arc. Play well defensively, but they're really going to have to step up their shooting if they want to go places.
Yeah, if you want to make upsets happen, 3-pointers are a way to do it, but they only average 27% from the 3-point line and over 20 turnovers a game. 2 things they really need to work on big here to pull up an upset.
And now we will move on to the final seed here on the women's side of the bracket.